live and in person. And as you might notice, my partner in crime for the Jamie and Joe shows running a little late. But we didn't want to hold things up because we didn't know. We thought maybe you'll all be waiting for this, waiting with bated breath for the wow hour to begin. So we're going to kick it off. He'll be here momentarily, I'm sure. And I think we have a few things we'd love to talk about today. So the wow hour, of course, every Monday at 11, every Friday at 11 a.m. On Monday, of course, it's the Jamie and Joe show. And on Friday, it's Women on Wellness, hosted by our own Dr. Ashley Rozzi. And of course, sometimes Ashley's going to have Dr. Tracy Stroup on with her. Sometimes she's going to have other physicians that we work with all across the country. And sometimes she's going to have patients and testimonials to bring to you. So it's going to be focused on women's health. And Dr. Rozzi, she'll be here every Friday. And who she's going to bring with her, well, we just never know. But you can rest assured that every Monday is still going to be the Jamie and Joe show. Of course, brought to you by the World of Wellness right here, 2419 Baldwick Road, 412-922-9355. There's a lot going on this time of year, folks. Lots going on. We've had so many events coming up. I'm going to highlight as many of them as I can. But before I do, I want to tell you about one that I did last week with the Women's Parkinson's Support Group. Now, there are many chapters of this organization all over the state, and I'm sure all over the country. But we were contacted here at the World of Wellness to do a presentation at the North Hills chapter here in Pennsylvania of the Women's Parkinson's Support Group. And of course, we were more than happy to oblige. So I went to that group last week, last Wednesday, and I brought with me our most famous Parkinson's patient that we've worked with, that is, of course, a family member of mine, my aunt, Mary Pat Valentino. She has been here, and she's done workshops with me here at the Wellness Weeks to show the number one thing they kept bringing up was that we gave them hope. That's the single most important thing I think anybody needs when they're diagnosed with, these types of debilitating disorders. And of course, Parkinson's is right at the top of the list. And we were more than happy to go and present the alternatives to, or maybe the complementary protocols. That's a better word. Because there's really not much you can do once it sets in except slow down the progression. Now, this was first approached by Dr. David Perlmutter, and he's out of Florida. He's an MD, neurological specialist. I've worked with him for many years, so has Jamie. We've known him for a long time. And back in the early 2000s, around 2000, 2001 actually, it was when he first designed his Parkinson's protocol. Now, the interesting thing is, do many of you even realize out there that there is a nutritional Parkinson's protocol? Well, if you've had any contact with us over the last 15 years, you know that it exists. I've done workshops on it numerous times. We've talked about it on the radio numerous times. And we had, as I said, my Aunt Mary Pat here to actually present from a standpoint of using it. She used this protocol, she's been using this protocol, and she still is to this day. Now, what's interesting about this, folks, is when we went to do this presentation, there were about 12 women in attendance, all at different stages of Parkinson's. Some had just been diagnosed this year, months ago. Some were diagnosed 3 years ago. Some were diagnosed, as long as 8 to 10 years ago. But none of them were diagnosed as long ago as Mary Pat. She was actually diagnosed almost 25 years ago. 25 years ago. And about 20 years ago, right around the time Dr. Perlmutter designed this protocol, we started her on it. We started her on it that soon. And, that is the most important thing to take away from this, and that is there are things you can do. You can't cure it. We don't even treat it. All we do is this protocol, designed by Dr. Perlmutter, has actually shown that it can slow down the progression of this debilitating neurological disorder. Now, if it can slow down the progression of something as, physically and mentally debilitating as Parkinson's, I'm sure it could have a positive effect on many other neurological disorders. Alzheimer's, dementia, just to name a few. And they're all on the rise. They're all on the rise. Every one of them. Why? Nutrient deficiencies and toxicities, of course. The toxicities are running rampant. The deficiencies in vital nutrients, like some of the cornerstones of this protocol. The deficiencies in coenzyme Q10, the deficiencies in omega-3 fatty acids, the deficiencies in our own master antioxidant, glutathione, the deficiencies in D3. There are studies that have actually been conducted using D3 for neurological disorders. I mean, we talk about D3 all the time, but for other issues. Not very often do we talk about it for neurological disorders. But it is, and the studies are there, folks. That's the most important thing to remember. This isn't just our opinion. These are actual studies. Now, Dr. Perlmutter, he designed his protocol after knowing about a study. Now, that study, I'll read it to you, not the whole study, but the study that he based his protocol on in the year 2000 was the effects of CoQ10 in early Parkinson's disease, evidence of slowing of the functional decline. Isn't that exactly what we're talking about? Now, if this study is over 20 years old, why is it you're only hearing about it now? Why are you only hearing about it from us? We knew about it. Well, we didn't know about the actual study, but we knew that Dr. Perlmutter referenced it to design his protocol. I wonder how many Parkinson's patients could have been helped over the years, over the last 20 years, if they knew about this protocol. We talked about some of the more famous Parkinson's patients at this meeting. You have Muhammad Ali. Now, the cause of Parkinson's, nobody really knows. I mean, there's probably multiple causes. And I'm sure concussions is a major cause. And of course, that's probably what happened to, Muhammad Ali. But then there was Michael J. Fox, one of the most, popular celebrities who is, on the warpath against this because he's been suffering from it. But I don't think he's doing the nutritional protocol because he's getting worse. Now, my Aunt Mary Pat, I want to say this right up front. She does take the Parkinson's meds. Okay, she does. You can't get around that. But the difference with her and these other people is the nutritional protocol. Now, she stood up in front of these women who said some of them had just been diagnosed within the last year, some within a couple of years. No one anywhere near as long as her. And they had more physical signs, folks. More physical signs than she did. I mean, with the trembling, with the unsteadiness, with the speech. So, what we were able to do more than anything else by showing them this protocol and showing the result of it in the person of Mary Pat was give them hope. And that's the one word they kept using over and over when we were done, was that we gave them hope. They've never heard about this before. They've never had anyone up there that could give them hope before. And it all goes back to Dr. David Perlmutter, and he deserves all the credit. Now, over the years, folks, we have modified his protocol. So his original protocol was very simple. It was 1,200 milligrams of coenzyme Q10. 1,200. Now, think about that, especially going back 20 years. Most people were taking 30 milligrams, 60 milligrams a day in the form of a soft gel. That's how it was dosed back at that time. Nobody was taking, very few were even taking 100 milligrams. But 1,200 milligrams, that's a lot of CoQ10. The second component to his protocol is 4 to 6 grams of omega-3. 4 to 6 grams of omega-3, not milligrams. Remember, now, when you look at this, you have to look at the EPA and DHA designation and breakdown on the label. And the EPA and DHA combined amount has to be 4 to 6 grams a day to have the effect that he sought. The third component of his original protocol was glutathione. Now, at that time, and even up till today, it's been very hard to get glutathione orally and able to absorb. So he recommended either a cream or an injectable. So Mary Pat started on that, but then we modified it over the years, and he's here.
How we doing?
Hey,
tremendous amount of traffic.
Oh, well, that's all right. I was able to kick things off.
Yeah.
I'm just finishing up about the protocol and the Parkinson's presentation I did last week.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and all the results from it. So, folks, I just want to finish up this segment before Jamie and I get into the next one on the protocol, how we've modified it over the years, the Perlmutter protocol. And you know Dr. Perlmutter. We've worked with him for years.
Dr. David Perlmutter.
Exactly.
I used to go to his office down in Naples, and I remember at the A4M, when they did the fellowship, the first time we worked it, I was the only vendor there, and he was the speaker.
Yeah.
And great guy. Great guy. I loved his office. Very humble guy, and just fantastic results he would get with people.
Absolutely fantastic results. So we took his original protocol of 1,200 milligrams of CoQ10.
How many milligrams?
1,200.
Wow, Phil, do you hear that? 12. Some people, they're afraid to do 100.
I know.
Joe.
We just mentioned
Well,
that.
let's talk about therapeutic dosages, because that was on my list for today. And, I think sometimes people are concerned.
Jamie, when CoQ10 first was used as a supplement, I was just saying to everybody, most of the dosages were 30 and 60 milligrams.
Yes,
right?
I was thinking 30
Remember
in my
that?
head, yeah.
So this was outrageous at the time.
We put more in our multivitamin.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so 1,200 milligrams. Well, obviously at the time, getting 1,200 milligrams was a tough thing to do. But then, as we modified the protocol for Aunt Mary Pat, we put her on the Enter CoQ10, which is 300 milligrams of CoQ and 300 milligrams of DMG. So that was a modification in and of itself.
And let me give you a little testimonial on the PSC, the positive side effects of using the Enter CoQ10. That's 300 milligrams of CoQ10 and 300 milligrams of DMG.
Right.
Now, a lot of people may not know, and that may not have any impact on them, but I know 300 milligrams of CoQ10 is therapeutic dosing.
Very much.
And 300 milligrams of DMG is also, right?
Yes.
And one of the benefits you get from that formula, being that's in the chewable, is it helps with gums.
Yes,
Gum
absolutely.
inflammation, if you have things like periodontal disease, right? You have inflammation in the gums is just a sign of inflammation throughout the body. So I actually have 3 clients that are doctors that they all reported back that they were in line for gum surgery, which is very painful and not always successful. And after using the Enter CoQ10, they don't need to do the surgery right now.
Wow.
They've been able to push it off. It's actually helped my gums a lot. They don't bleed anymore. When I was younger, I would use Doc's protocol, but I never used the dilution of the peroxide, so I would use it straight. So if using hydrogen peroxide, do not use it straight. Use about a 1 cap, 1 to 5 dilution of 1 part hydrogen peroxide and 5 parts water. Because by itself, it's too strong. It can actually do some damage.
It is. But we do have a food grade hydrogen peroxide right here in the store, folks. So if you need it, we've got it.
So I love the fact that you get extra benefits on that. I always take them before I work out. Excellent cellular energy. So
Right.
I'm not wired or stimulated like that. I think a lot of people are looking for that, with the Bang Energy and the 5 Hour and the Red Bulls and all
Sure.
these things. It goes back a long time ago to Rip Fuels. People are expecting some kind of, stimulating effect, but it doesn't. It works at the cellular level.
Right. And there's a big difference. That's what we call sustainable energy. It's not going to come and go. It's not going to rise and drop. It's sustainable.
Well, it's a great point, right? Because I know, a lot of men and women, right? That we used to do the old caffeine, aspirin, ephedra stack, right? Yeah, the good old days, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people want the Xenadrine, hydroxycuts, and those things are stimulants. So
Sure.
one of the negatives on those, they do work, right? But your body gets burned out, and you do crash on those eventually.
Right.
So you look at possibility with issues with thyroid or adrenal dysfunction. Those are all directly tied into that. The nice thing with something like this is there is no crash.
No, there's no crash. There's no adverse effects. There's only positive effects. You're going to feed the major organs of your body, heart, brain, lungs, and liver, all require the most serum CoQ10 in your body, and it's of course very depleted. So getting at least
You forgot the biggest organ, Joe.
What's that?
Well, I'd say it'd have to be the skin.
The skin.
Right? That is your largest organ.
It is.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people, they show their health or their disease right on their skin.
They sure do.
Right? Not you, of course. This guy's glowing today, Phil, huh? So, yeah, but, when you look at it overall, all the internal organs, right? The brain, the liver, and the heart require the most CoQ10.
That's right.
And the skeletal muscle, right?
Yes, because there were people that are on, of course, the statin drugs, where they feel it at first and the most in their legs.
Yeah.
Right? The largest muscle group in the body, they feel it there first because it's not getting the energy that it needs. Right?
Great point.
So as we said, the Parkinson's protocol. We'll finish up on this because I was telling Phil earlier, Jamie, I got a nice clinical pearl on this Turmeric Plus.
I love it.
All right, but what we're going to do, this Parkinson's protocol, again, enter CoQ10, 300 milligrams CoQ, 300 DMG, 4 of those a day, 4 and more. We've had some that have even done more, okay? The 4 to 6 grams of omega-3 from Dr. Perlmutter, we keep that just as it is, but we use, of course, the omega-3D, okay, that makes it in a smaller amount of soft gels, or you could use the liquid.
I love the liquid
Yep.
because you get about 3 grams of omega-3s, 2,400 plus, which are the active components EPA and DHA.
Right.
So I love that. It's 1 teaspoon. I have it right in the fridge at work, so I do a teaspoon every day I'm in the office.
Right.
It's simple and effective and therapeutic, which oftentimes with a soft gel, you're not going to get that.
Exactly. So easy to get mega doses with the
And Dr.
liquid.
Perlmutter's gone up to 4 to 6 grams.
4 to 6 grams. So you know what? Get a nice tablespoon. You've got it. You're there. That's all it
I remember
takes.
Dr. Rakowski and then Christy Hawks, Dr. Christy, she's a naturopath, and it was interesting because she would always say that when you have a big challenge, you need a big therapy.
That's a great
Right?
way to put it.
So
yeah.
she would say, look, you can do 1 or 2 soft gels when you're well.
Yeah.
She says, but if you're dealing with Parkinson's, you're dealing with neurological issues, right? You're dealing with brain, depression, dementia. She said, you got to rebuild the brain. And she would actually have a picture of the brain. And she would say, each time you take fish oil, it's like putting another brick in the brain, right? And that's how you can
Nice.
rebuild the brain structure, because the brain's 70% fat. And I think we've been told and misled for way too long that you can't rebuild the brain, you can't fix the brain.
Yeah,
Not
well,
true.
That's not true. Another side note on that would be that famous study with the miner that was brain dead, right? And they brought him back using 15 grams, 15,000 milligrams of EPA DHA. So no, it's definitely possible. The last component, there's actually 2 more to the updated protocol. And that is, we added, of course, D3. And Jamie, there's been studies on neurological disorders in D3 that, of course, you'll never hear about except here. But it is a major,
You can,
major factor.
create some controversy on
Yeah.
ashwagandha or, these herbs and stuff, but D3, I mean,
know.
is there any controversy on it?
No, there's no controversy.
I'm waiting for them to
whatsoever.
give me $20 worth of free groceries when I get my D3 at
Yeah.
the grocery store.
Yeah.
But, D3 has been overwhelmingly popular. It's one supplement of the year. It's very therapeutic. And, even some people on our team are saying, isn't it a hormone? Right? Because I hear you talking about that all the time.
It is. It sure
It's still
is.
a vitamin, but the reason they call it a hormone-like substance is able to turn on so many things in the body.
Right.
Especially when we look back, historically, we always thought of D3 as brain, right, and bones. But lo and behold, what happened 10 years ago? And Joe is actually one of the first ones I remember saying, hey, you don't need 400 IUs, not 1,000. He said 10,000. I thought you misspoke at the time. Here we are, 10 years later, and the 10,000 has been in PubMed, right? All the published studies are showing 5 to 10,000 IUs of D3. And if you come in contact with things like COVID, or your immune system is low, or your D3 level's low, they're saying 20, 30, 40,000 for a short period of time.
Right.
So your blood levels get at least 60.
Right.
However, there's blood levels and there's tissue levels. So I want to take a little left-hand turn, Joe. I like to make lefts and rights. A little left-hand turn and talk to you about one of the tests that you perform at the World of Wellness on not blood levels, but tissue levels.
Tissue levels, and of course that's the Oligo scan, and we use that right here at the World of Wellness. It's a very simple, non-invasive test, but it tests nutrients and toxins that have in their absorption into the tissue. That's the key. Okay, why do we want to do that? Well, blood is what's circulating in the body. Urine,
and that has a role.
It has a role, right? Urine analysis, that's what your body's excreting. Hair is also many months old. And that's what they used to use as the gold standard for toxins, right? But now we can measure how many of those toxins and how much of the vital minerals and vitamins are actually concentrated in the tissue of the body.
I hear tests, I think, wow, it's going to hurt. It's going to be very expensive, and I don't know if I'm going to get the results back. So can you clear up some of my concerns? Because those are the concerns, right?
They are.
How do I get the test? Is it painful? And the results. Usually they don't even tell me what the results are unless it's something quick like blood pressure or weight.
Or they make you come back for another visit for the results.
If you're lucky enough, right?
Yeah. Now, this takes literally minutes, folks. It's done with something called spectrophotometry. Spectrophotometry. That's the measurement of light. Now, every one of these substances absorbs light at a different chemical ratio. So they've been able to identify the algorithms on how much these toxins and nutrients absorb light. And by using a camera that's handheld and taking 4 little measurements on the palm of your hand, we can then measure the amount of those chemicals, which are nutrients and toxins, in the tissue.
Right.
Takes minutes.
So minutes, non-invasive. And something like this I know can be very pricey. I've seen some of the illegal scans costing $249 to $299.
Yeah, right.
I know at the World of Wellness we like to make things as affordable as possible. We do have a high internal cost on it. What's the cost to the person getting tested?
The cost to the person getting tested is only $99.
Wow.
And that's one of the lowest price
So
tests.
normally $249 to $199.
Yep.
We're not gonna do the $99 forever though, right?
Not forever, folks. Take advantage of it now. This is a great gift. You want to give the gift of health? Buy somebody an Oligo scan test, right, for the holidays. It's right there. It's right up there with everything else.
So what do they need to do to set up a time?
One very important thing, Jamie, is you got to know your blood type.
Okay.
You got to know your blood type. Other than that, we just need height, weight, age, gender, and you only get 2 choices, and your blood type, and that's it.
So,
other than that, give us a call.
Simple, easy, and
Set up a
effective.
time.
And then part of the testing, because I know oftentimes people pay for the test and then they pay for the consult later. You're including your consult and recommendations
Yes,
with this?
the consult and the recommendations are included in the $99.
I tell you what, this guy makes it so simple and easy. That's a lost art in our world today.
Sure is.
Simple and easy. Oligo scan, now available. How do they schedule? They just simply
us a
call.
call.
They
Yeah.
text. What do they do?
Just give us a call, 412-922-9355. Talk to anybody at the front desk. Tell them you want to schedule an Oligo scan, and we'll get you in.
Yeah,
Anytime.
and if you're able to, let's schedule on. I know Joe's a busy guy between family and everything going on. When are the days that you are doing the test?
Mostly we're doing them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, but if we have to accommodate somebody, we will.
Sure, absolutely. So that's great you're doing this. I think more testing is better. So right now at the World of Wellness, we do the Alligo scan. We do the Zyto scan, which is excellent, that Dr. Ashley does. That tests you for thousands of different things, and it's going to help figure out what some of the underlying causes may be, Joe, not so much the diagnosis.
Right, and that's what we're really interested in, is the causes. And it's going to give you know, the Zyto is amazing. It's a biorhythmic scan of the body, right? And it's we always call it the lie detector test for your entire body. Because that's what it's going to do. You can't lie to it. You can't cheat. It's going to scan your hand as well. It's non-invasive as well. And it takes minutes as well. It's the consultation afterwards. You spend a whole hour with Dr. Rozzi.
And the great thing with Dr. Ashley Rozzi does is customize your program based on what your underlying causes are, where you're at now, what some of your goals are, right? Because it's not a one-size-fits-all. Our philosophies are the same. Whole food, movement, the NF for Life program is consistent. However, we want to make sure you get that customized program so you can get the best results in the quickest time possible, right?
Yes.
That's really the goal. But she's doing a great job. And then we also have some new questionnaires. We have the detox questionnaire and toxicity test, which I know you're running oftentimes with the Alligo scan. We have the Fit Life questionnaire. So we have a lot of questionnaires. We have some different types of modalities and different types of technology for testing. And then we do some of the, I call it old school, the manual testing with the applied kinesiology and the innate therapies with Jeff Nisnik.
Jeff Nisnik, he's a kinesiologist extraordinaire, folks. He has 3,200 vials in his office to test you on.
You don't need 3,200 vials, do you?
Nobody needs
like
all 3,200. But if you have something you need tested, I guarantee you he's got it. And his allergy reversal is second to none.
Absolutely. It's called Nate, Dr. Nambujirpad's allergy elimination technique. It can actually reverse allergies.
Right.
Now, she's a doctor in California, has been doing this treatment and this program and certifying healthcare professionals for years. I tried getting in the course. I couldn't. But Dr. Weiner did the course, and he did his therapy. I tell you what, so many people would come in, and he would put, it's a form of acupressure. So there's no needles going in, but they can clear these meridian points. The best way I can explain is you have these different parts of your body and meridian points. Think of them as like crossroads in the streets you're driving on. And sometimes you get traffic. This is like the traffic cop. It weighs you right through so that you continue that energy flow. Because if it's backed up, say, at a meridian point for your lungs, well, you can have lung issues. If it's backed up for a meridian point for your eyes, maybe you have some vision issues, right? So he can really pinpoint in, which is fantastic. So we can do that with the equipment, with the Zyto, or we can do it manually. People say, what's best? Whatever you prefer, right?
Sure, absolutely. Just like your choice of chiropractors. We have two amazing chiropractors that both approach things a little differently. Some use a little bit more of the technological side. Well, that's Dr. Ross, of course. And then, of course, the anchor, Dr. Gideon Orbach, who's been here since day one. And hands-on, there's nobody like him.
Well, I saw my daughter this weekend. You know, world's greatest teacher. She won the award, of course. She's teaching down in Virginia. And I asked her which chiropractor she liked. Guess which one?
I have to probably go with Dr. Ross. No.
No?
Dr. O.
Don't tell Dr. No, not Dr. O.
Oh.
Both. She says, I love Dr. Phil because he does some unique therapies and uses some technology. And she goes, I love Dr. Orbach because he hits on one spot that is so hard to get. I know Dr. Phil's good at it too, but she likes both, of course.
Of course
so
she does.
You can go to both, right? I got the compression boots on last week, and I'm going back today for more.
Yeah, I remember that. I had to actually help him out of them, but yeah.
But the compression boots are a great way to, what they say, is put on new legs, right?
Yes.
So there's so many unique things that we're doing right now at the World of Wellness. I got some exciting news. I can't be a spoiler alert, but I did have someone call me on Friday saying it might be a good time to join the team.
Oh.
He's an MD, medical doctor, actually a doctor of osteopathic medicine. But we are building a team at World of Wellness. We have 2 incredible new people as patient coordinators. You know, I like to acknowledge one person on the team. Not you, Joe. I know you're waiting for it. And not me. But this guy, Philly Phil, anyone who gets a nickname like that has earned it.
Well, you gave it to him.
I don't give it to everybody. This guy earned a nickname, and congratulations on his promotion.
Yeah.
He's going to marketing director. So he's an incredible guy.
Come on, take a bow. Take a bow.
Get up here.
I know
Come
you
on.
want to. Come on.
Get up here. We got to do a little handshake. This guy's doing great. He came into the wellness center. He joined the team. He got a great attitude. You know, he specializes in. He does all this streaming. He built this incredible studio, computers. And he always just has a smile face with a, let me figure out how to do this mindset. So Congratulations. Any words for all your fans out there?
Thank you guys. No, I'm just excited to be here for the opportunity. Any way that you guys want me to make it better, I'm always on Facebook. Just message us directly. And I'm excited for this to just get even bigger and bigger.
Well, you're in it. Congratulations, Phil.
All right, Phil.
Guy's doing great work. So he's transitioning from patient coordinator to marketing director, and we have 2 brand new people. I thought we hired Holly Steiner for patient coordinator, and then I see her on the video, Joe. Didn't take her long.
We didn't wait. We grabbed her.
Jumped
put her
right up
in.
here with Dr. Ashley, so she's doing great. And then the lovely and talented Ashley Rozzi. She's actually a nurse, a registered nurse. She joined our team. Actually, today's her first day.
Her first day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, who was down there training her? None other than Philly Phil himself.
So we're excited for the team as it evolves. We're here to have you maximize and optimize wellness. That's mind, body, spirit. There's no reason. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what your background is. If you had trauma or not, it doesn't matter. There's no reason why you shouldn't be living your best life now. We have the team down here to help you do that. If it's a structural issue, if it's a weight issue, if it's toxicity, it doesn't matter what it is. We can help you. And hey, if we can't help you, we know where to send you, which is even sometimes even more important, right? So if you need a surgery, God forbid, we have Dr. Victor Prisk out there in Monroeville, Prisk Orthopedic Wellness, PAL. So there's a lot of people that we work with that we can direct you to. And if you're out of town, same thing. You can
all up and down the East Coast.
Be more than happy to provide a referral for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. We have a network. We've used it ourselves many times, and we allow that network to go out to everybody out there. So if we can't help you, we'll direct you.
I had a list of things to go over today, but I was running a little bit late. There's one thing I do want to bring up, and then we can get to your testimonial. Is I was talking to a friend over the weekend, and I says, how do you use technology to maximize your wellness program? Right?
Good question.
Because, my trainer's over in this area, right? Or I can't get to see my chiropractor. So I started thinking about it. I was like, that would be a good thing to put out there to get some people's responses, right? How do you use technology? Well, the first thing I use, and I set my record on Saturday.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Steps?
12.3 miles and 27, Joe. You count them. 27,000 steps.
What? On one day?
Yes, one day. That was on Saturday. So I use technology to hold myself accountable, which was really funny. Was the end of the day, I was doing laps around the hotel room because I was trying to break the record. And the wife was wondering, what am I doing walking around the hotel room?
She figured, he's done. He lost it finally,
So I like it because it holds me accountable, right? In a couple ways. If you see me looking down, it's because I have all these affirmations that come up on my phone, right? So one thing I do is I keep track of my steps. So a bad day is going to be hopefully 10,000 steps. And a good day is going to be 10,000 or more. I did on Saturday, but I try not to, get a little too anal about it.
27,000 steps. All right, I was close. 26. Oh, that's 100.
Oh,
sorry. Okay. No, I don't do a lot of walking on Saturdays. I'm standing on Sundays.
Well, it's all relative because you know what? When I first started doing this, 5,000 was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I got to 8, and I was like, well, I might as well do 10, right?
Yeah.
And then it got a little crazy where I'd go for 15 or 20, and that becomes a little hard sometimes with your schedule. But why not track your steps?
Yes,
Right? That's
why
the way
not?
you can use technology
Sure.
to hold yourself accountable. You know, another thing is that it's an easy resource. You know, when I see things pop up, you know, everything that isn't meant for my highest good must leave. Right? We just talked about that. The cleansing of the soul, of the mind, body, spirit. So you can. Those are a couple simple ways. What do you do?
Well,
I mean,
to
you got
track it-
look at all the gadgets.
I got all
here.
the gadgets here. Yeah, I mean, I love to use the step tracker, and I do use it. Now, here's the one caveat: you got to have this on you for that to work.
Oh, I know.
Okay?
If you see me running for my phone, it's not because anyone's calling. It's because
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my
You don't
steps.
want to lose any steps, right? You got to have it on here. But you know what? These devices, folks, these are computers that are more powerful than the computers that sent a man to the moon, right? So you can do everything on here. You can track all kinds of vitals on your device, whether it's an iPhone or whatever. But use them if you can. And then, you know, there's always other ways to do it. You can track your meals.
Well,
right?
absolutely.
Your nutrients, your protocols, all of that.
Yeah,
So-
so you can do that. I also like to go on to, look at some videos like on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, you know, I've really focused on some new exercises for my shoulders, right? And I can tell the difference. And I actually followed Dana Lynn Bailey, a woman's shoulder workout, right?
Nice.
Her workouts are
She has
fantastic.
nice shoulders.
Excellent,
Yeah.
yeah. And she does a little more higher rep and supersets, so I started incorporating those just by watching the videos, and it was fantastic. I was like, wow, I can actually feel and see the difference. Strength, flexibility, you know, endurance,
Right.
shape, you know. So those are some things that I like to do using technology. I know you like to look up stuff.
I do, and you know, I found like one of the things, the great things I found online was this nitric oxide 4-minute workout.
Oh.
Okay? Yeah, well, it was done
4 minutes?
4 minutes to build nitric oxide in the body. Now, you do it 3 or 4 times a day, but it takes only 4 minutes. It's major muscle groups. It's nonstop for 4 minutes, and it actually helps your body develop nitric oxide. Now, I mean, Dr. Zach Bush, who I follow, he's the one who created it, and Mercola reported on it. But it's simple. Who doesn't have 4 minutes? Everybody.
That's what I love, is using technology to your advantage. So moving forward on this show, which I still like to call the Holistic Truth,
Yeah.
the Jamie and Joe show, is that I want to help people with their everyday life. You know, I've gotten so many requests over the weekend. You know, I love what you guys are doing, but can you talk a little more about your experience and what do you do, like when you're on the road versus when you're at home versus
Right.
inclement weather versus, you know, it's sunny and 85 out. So we're going to talk a little bit about more of what we do so that we can help people out. And we want you to share your ideas. What are some of the things you do to utilize technology? Well, Phil, what do you do for technology and wellness?
I organize myself in my iPad to make sure I have everything to do, and if I keep myself on track, then I'm mentally healthy and I'm physically healthy.
Well, there you go. Organize himself, prioritize with his iPad. And I know the second choice is watching the Jamie and Joe show once a week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I get all the good info.
Yeah, we want to help you make these changes because we know it's not always the easiest thing to do. You know, life gets in the way. So we want to look
Life
at
gets
other
in the way.
strategies of what do you do, right? You know, and hey, sometimes you don't feel, you know, yesterday I didn't feel 100%, like I was a little sore. Felt good physically, just a little bit sore. So I just walked in the morning. I love taking pictures of nature. The sun was beautiful in the morning. Took some really cool pictures. of
Maybe where
nature.
you were, it was snowing here.
Well, I was in, I'd say Georgia. I was
Yeah,
in Virginia.
Virginia, yeah.
But the colors and the tree, it was just nice to do that. So you got to do where you're incorporating your activities with some of your hobbies. And, you know, it doesn't always have to be the 27,000 steps, but it should be something.
Should be something.
So I know we got a
Absolutely.
couple minutes left. I got a 12 o'clock, but I know you want to go over to turmeric plus.
Yeah, one of the focus products this month is Turmeric Plus from Nutritional Frontiers, and of course this uses a patented, research, trademarked ingredient and the curcumin, so it's much more bioavailable. But that didn't stop us from putting the BioPeri in there
No.
to make sure that the black pepper extract even increased the assimilation of this.
Yeah, let's
great
talk about
nutrient.
why. Because curcumin,
Yeah.
right, is a extract in turmeric.
Yes.
Right?
Turmeric's
So
the spice.
all turmeric does not include curcumin, but if you have curcumin, it's part of turmeric,
Yes.
right? So it's the extract, it's the important component of it. But all the research we found out last year, interesting enough, was done on the Indian population, the country of India. Well, they have a lot of turmeric in their diet, Joe.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So the one we looked at was curcumin. And what's the challenge with taking turmeric is that it does not have a long life in the body. It breaks down in about an hour or so. But with the curcumin that we use, it's a patented research trademarked ingredient, they were able to sustain that life for 12 hours in the studies.
So that means you don't have to keep taking it over time. You can take it once a day or twice a day.
Twice a day.
Get the benefit.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And you maintain a much higher level in your body because it's not being broken down so quickly.
Right. And that information in and of itself is vital because most people don't even know that.
No.
They don't know that it breaks down and it has a half-life in the body.
So this actually is more about 46% more bioavailable than even the other trademarked curcumins on the market.
Which we have used.
Absolutely.
In the past,
We've used
yeah.
the generic. Sure, they all work.
Sure.
But why not try and get the best? So let's hear your testimonial.
Well,
because-
it's more of a clinical pearl, James,
Oh,
because
clinical pearl.
Yeah, it coincides with the time of year that we're moving into, the holiday season.
oh, I didn't say the gray season.
No, the holiday season.
holiday
And
season.
I'm talking about Christmas because, Christmas is, of course, the celebration of the birth of the baby Jesus. Now, who went to visit the baby Jesus in the manger? The three wise men, right?
Okay.
And what did they bring with them?
You're not going to put me on the spot here with.
No, I won't.
Okay.
They brought with them frankincense,
Yes.
myrrh, and gold. However, if you take frankincense and myrrh, which are essential oils, more people are starting to believe that the gold was actually the spice,
Ooh.
turmeric, and not actual gold. Okay, so do you want to get the gifts, the three major gifts?
I want three gifts,
You want
yeah.
them? Well, here's one right here. That's how important curcumin is in the body as a healing agent, an anti-inflammatory. It's a support mechanism for many other nutrients and systems. So, folks,
It helps
this-
detoxify your hormones. We talked about
Golden.
men's hormones this month. It helps detoxify your hormones through phase 1 of the liver, where things often get congested, right? It helps reduce inflammation. You know, how many people do we know that got COVID and got really sick or passed away? They all had a cytokine storm that was out of control,
Right.
usually to elevated body comp
Yeah.
and body fat levels. But turmeric would be great to cool that down.
Cool it down.
Immune boosting effects. A lot of people just take it I hate to say just for pain, but they take it just for pain.
Yeah, and it is golden color, folks. So I think this is one of the three gifts.
All right, well, I
All
can't
right.
wait to get underneath the tree this year and see one of my three gifts. Hopefully, it's a bottle of Nutritional Frontiers, 60 count
Yeah.
turmeric plus. But
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I actually was talking to somebody recently about using this, and they said that if they don't take this, they notice their pain. I said, well, that means when you do take it, you notice that you don't have pain.
That's right.
So they were only using 2 capsules a day. Normally on turmeric, the dosing is about 2,000 milligrams to get
Yeah, to
an
get a
active,
therapeutic
On this,
result.
you only need 1,000.
Wow.
Yep.
That's nice.
So
Cut it
you
in
can
half.
get a real therapeutic dose on this. It works 46% better. Some people get by on 1 or 2 caps a day. You can adjust the dosage as you need it, but there you go. A great way to cool down the pain and inflammation any time of the year, especially this time of the year.
So therapeutic dose would be 2 capsules twice a day.
Yeah.
Right? That gets you to
Absolutely.
1,000.
Yep.
Okay, great.
So you can do that for therapeutic, get the pain under control. Then you can reduce it to more of a maintenance dose of 1 to 2 caps. Yeah.
Yeah, but it should be part of your supplement.
You got to be careful this time of year, Joe, because I was just talking to a colleague of ours, and she had a little slip and fall this morning.
Uh-oh.
So hopefully she's okay. But you got to be careful. The weather's changing. You know, it's darker out
Yeah.
all the time almost. So be careful with ice, wet leaves. You know, you got snow coming down. So just be careful. We're going to enjoy and stay healthy during this holiday season.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a big one. We've got an event coming up this Wednesday, folks, 2 days away. Wednesday night, 6 p.m. You have Dr. Ashley Rozzi herself. Eat this, not that. for the holidays. It's going to be fun. We're going to have samples. We're going to have recipes and discussions wide open. Just come in. No registration needed. It's free to everybody. 6 to 7 this Wednesday, coming up on the 17th with Dr. Rozzi.
And then Saturday, we have the World of Wellness and the PCIC partner up once again.
Yes.
This is somebody says, whose event is this? It's a co-op event. That
Yeah.
means there's two great teams together. It's 11 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about COVID case studies. What you need to know if you got the shot or not. So not here to tell you about getting it or not getting it. We want you to know, here's 2 case studies for people that had COVID.
Right.
And their protocols, and most importantly, Joe, their results. I'm excited
Results.
for that one.
I am too. Yeah, because you don't hear anybody else talking about that either. You know, so that'll be the first half of the presentation on Saturday, and then the second half, Tony Pellegrino, Lisa will be back, right? Solinsky will be back doing all of the information you need for your legal rights, folks, for medical rights.
Absolutely. So thanks so much. Congratulations to Philly Phil. Thanks, Joe, for doing a great job as always. We hope to see everyone Wednesday night. Is your daughter's coming?
Absolutely, they'll be
They
here.
better be
Yes.
here, right? So, you know, everyone's welcome. You do not need to be a patient. What's the cost on this?
0.0.
My favorite number. So come on down Wednesday at the World of Wellness. For more information, give us a call, 412-922-WELL, 412-922-9355. Have a great day.